Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brett.
Woo! Love Island.
As you can see, Brett's excited. It is Love Island Games, episode 2. Make sure you like and subscribe here on TikTok for all of our Love Island coverage. We have a playlist here on the YouTube channel. We're trying to do a review for every episode. And we also have funny clips and highlights from the episodes on our TikTok. So if you're subscribed to both, you'll catch all of our coverage. Okay, Brett, this episode, we had a first ever for Love Island Games and the Love Island franchise. We had the Duel. The Duel, in case you were like Brett and couldn't understand what was actually the game was called. This is going to come from if the Bombshell chooses one of the people that they decided to kiss, they will have their current partners have to battle them in the duel. If they lose, if your current partner loses, they are out and they are singles. And if you win as the newcomer, you come and take over and are now coupled up with the person of your choosing. Obviously, Johnny and Megan were the two that came in. And the topic right off of the top was that Sally still didn't realize that that it was Jack. Like, she didn't realize. Or Johnny, sorry. Like, how do you not realize that?
I mean, she kind of did. She was talking about it and like, oh, I think it might be, but I don't know. Like, she knew a little bit, but wasn't 100%.
I thought it was like pretty obvious. And the fact that the host kept being like, did you recognize anybody? I'm like, dead giveaway. Like, how many of you? I mean, now what's different about this maybe versus some other shows is that this season, excuse me, is that they were all on Love Island, right? They all have exes in some form or fashion. So any of them could have had any of their exes. It is funny that they're very focused on the Selly relationship. Um, the duel. Johnny picks Imani. Megan picks Steph. So that means it's going to be Johnny and Ray in the duel. And then it's going to be Megan and Jessica in the duel. The duel was a good old fashioned balance beam, stick, baton battle. I thought you'd be into this though, Brett. I mean, you're into physical challenges.
I was. I was
You,
down for it.
you're
I
down for it.
I thought I was joining you for the premiere episode, right? And so I had a lot of thoughts and opinions. So this one redeemed itself a little bit with that challenge because I hope they get to show more stuff like that because the first episode in that challenge is weak AF. And I mean, still though, the whole like between two episodes, I feel like yes, I'm watching Love Island, but where are the games? Like, there's not too much game component to it. And then, especially last week, the game was weak. This one was good. I like that. So
Yeah.
hopefully, we do some more knockout duel type things like this. So, but we need more games. Like, I want more emphasis on the games.
I think we're going to get the games. I think obviously being 2 episodes in, we have had 2 challenges, one of them being the most physical I've ever really seen on Love Island as far as competitiveness. And obviously with them being stakes now that they understand about losing out on their couplings and maybe becoming vulnerable. I think that's going to make it a little bit more of a competitive vibe. You see a lot of the conversations right now early on too. The people are touching base with like, okay, like we need to have your head on swivel for these challenges. You got to be ready. I want to win. And that's not a conversation you ever hear on Love Island. It's always like a challenge. Like that's something you would hear on the challenge, right? Or Survivor or whatever. So I do like the little twist. It still has the bubbliness of Love Island, honestly, and it still has all the slow mos and the zoom ins. And, it's mostly still about them trying to maybe make some connections to date. However, the fact that they're not going to be there for 40, 50 days and they are only going to be there, I think it says it's only going to go till like November 19th. It's like a 12, 15 episode run. It's probably going to change the dynamic up a little bit to honestly more of like your liking or maybe some more casuals who maybe have a hard time lasting through a 40, 50 episode season, which is an understandable complaint. So I did like that.
I
Um,
usually quit on Love Island. There's too many episodes. Nothing
Listen,
happens.
I mean, it's a complaint that anyone could have about a lot of shows, right? Like Love Island, Big Brother UK, different shows like that are on often. It's tough. It's especially for people covering shows. But if you love the show, which I know Brian myself do, it's a positive because you get to have more of something that you love. So I can see both sides of that argument. I thought Jess put up a pretty commendable run considering that she's only 4'11". She had a great quote about like hopefully the person comes is smaller than me. It's like, yeah, you probably got a rough try on that one.
Yeah, my Jama got her back on that, saying, "Oh, so you think someone is 4'10" and they're gonna walk in here?"
Another hobbit. My Jama is the best. She is bad chick. That's just everyone on the internet agrees. She is just
I
like
didn't know who she was, but I like her. I don't know if she hosts like the other UK versions and stuff because I've never seen them.
she's been around before, yeah. Um, the
But she should have gotten low. That was my thought on that. Is the low man wins in football? The low man wins. The coaches always tell you that. So in this competition, she did it once. Just get underneath her and hit her body and push her out. So yeah.
Johnny and Ray, a lot of trash talk beforehand. Ray went up 2-0, ends up losing 3-2. Big collapse there, big choke.
Yeah. Yeah. Johnny looked really bad those first two that Maya Jama even called him out. And then he's like, "Oh no, I'm good." And then he finished the job. So I don't know.
One other thing I do want to talk about was that Selly did go and confront Johnny to close out the episode. It sounds funny that it looks like Johnny not paying for Cheesecake Factory nachos was like the fight that broke the camel's back with their relationship at IRL. That might be one of the most relatable things I've ever heard. That's real life shit.
Well, based off what she said and what one of our commenters said last week is that apparently that Hawaii trip that she paid for, he was trying to hook up with some other chick or something, and she found out. And so maybe like they were trying to reconcile at Cheesecake or something, and he just didn't pay. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but then he blew her. Then the whole fight happens, and apparently he went and started posting. I'm going on Instagram Live. He went on Instagram Live and started trashing her. Like, you can't do that, dude. And yeah, you know what? It is creepy for you to go and make out with her blindly when you haven't seen your ex in 3 years. Like, that's not an icebreaker. Uh, that's a crummy move. Honestly, it's kind of ick. It's ick is a great word for that.
I thought it was funny as a viewer.
I'd be
Something
curious
to
to
talk
see. I think
about.
it's going to be 50-50 on that. I think some people are going to be like, that's who he is. But I just think he's just kind of like a tool, honestly. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think there's not enough time, I think, for him to try to even.
Oh, he's definitely a tool. I like Selly. Like I saw their original Love Island season, and I like her. She's fun. She's super bubbly and funny, and yeah, whatever she said. Like, yeah, that's the only way you could ever kiss me again is if I was like tied down and blindfolded.
That was a great line, honestly.
And she
Um,
called him a bad actor. So
she's like, yeah, you're an actor, and you're a bad one. If this is like, she was killing him. She went, but you know what? Look, I mean, we all been there. If you have an ex you haven't talked to in 3 years, and especially none of us have been done publicly as dirty as she was done, obviously, or you can have your opinions, but that's crazy. So, them coexisting in the house. Let's see if they reconcile at all, like you said, or if it just stays like a I'm not talking to you type thing. So, like I said, we'll be back. There will be an episode 3 review. It'll either be Friday night or Saturday morning. Also, look out, like I said, for all of our other coverage of reality TV from our CBS Wednesdays to our Bachelor Thursdays. We do Love Island. We do F Boy Island. We do the Challenge. What else we have going on? Buddy Games.
season finale.
Season finale coming up, obviously. Like I said, ton of shows going on. Bravo shows, Winter House, um, Southern Charm. We're also doing House of Villains. Brett and I just did a review of that will drop before this review. So lots of awesome stuff going on. Make sure you check out our TikTok as well, and you'll get all of our coverage. But
I also have a quick Love Island funny stories
oh yeah.
related. So the person so just this week they didn't want to be named, but someone that I know was showing me their Bumble profile, and they're like, "Oh, dude, look at this hottie I matched with, and I'm chatting with," and the name was Hannah on the profile. I'm looking through the photos, kind of just like teasing them a little bit, and then a couple minutes later, I'm like, "Yeah, that chick's from Love Island. Her name's Carmen, and that's a catfish."
Oh, look at you doing a service for the people, helping out your boys. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Like hate to break the bad news, but that's a catfish, bud.
I'm glad you reminded me and put that story in there. That is hilarious. People are definitely gonna like that. Like I said, check us out here, TikTok, and we'll have you covered for Love Island and everything else. But again, for myself, Brett, and the rest of us, thank you. Peace.
Bergie, don't get catfished.